We are live. We are live, everybody.
We're alive.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
This is Jimmy's podcast, season 9 of the podcast. We're coming back for more. I bet you never thought we'd last this long. Breaking news, show reviews, rubber boots, reacts, and lots of social media crap. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh. This is the podcast.
So, yesterday, I fly to Fort Lauderdale. It's a quick in and out. It's a 6 a.m. Air Canada flight to Fort Lauderdale, and then a 2:30 WestJet flight home from Fort Lauderdale. And in the middle, I was interviewing our old buddy Roberto Luongo, I believe the first guest in the history of this podcast.
Yes.
For he's going into the Hall of Fame, so we were kind of going over his career. More on that. The point is this: the WestJet flight was delayed 3 hours. WestJet, be better. You suck. And so I had 4 hours to kill in the Fort Lauderdale Airport, Terminal 1. Not exactly high-end as far as the food and beverage options.
Oh, I'm going there this January, so
Okay.
it's good to know.
Well, you can check in on the person I'm about to talk about because I end up sitting down at a bar called a Whiskey Grill.
Sounds
A
good.
typical piece of crap airport food. And I sit down at a little table for two in the corner. It's not very busy. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday. And my waitress, whose name is Penny, of course it is. It would have to be like Penny or Elaine or Alice or something because she's, I don't want to guess Penny's age. I'm going to say 70, but she looked 112.
Oh,
Penny had seen some things.
the years have been hard.
Like Penny has lived a life.
Okay,
you can
that's
tell.
good.
Smoker.
Definitely smoker. She mentioned.
See right
We'll
there.
get into that later. Probably some other stuff.
Okay.
And I feel like she'd been at the Whiskey Grill at the Fort Lauderdale Airport for somewhere between the last 50 and 60 years.
Oh, nice.
Sorry about that. That was my computer. As it was.
Wake up.
No. I'll shut it
mail.
down. I'll shut it down. Don't worry. Okay, that's good.
So I sit down and almost immediately regret sitting at the bar, which was my first option the hostess gave me because Penny was my waitress and she didn't have a lot of other people to serve. So Penny says, "How you doing, cowboy?"
Oh, I like the way this started.
The entire time, Penny talked like something out of, I don't know, like a 60s Dean Martin movie or something like that. I don't think Penny even knew it was 2022.
Yeah.
And she says, "What can I get you?" And I said, "Can I just get a sparkling water, please?" She goes, "No." And I said, "What?" She goes, "No, you're not having that in Penny's bar."
Wow.
Wow.
And I said, "Okay, I've been up since 2 a.m., Penny. I just need a sparkling water." She goes, "I can't give you that." And then she walked away.
Wow.
So she comes back a couple minutes later. She said, "So what kind of beer do you want?"
Wow.
And I said,
I love her.
"Okay, are we going to do this? I might as well just play along.
Yeah.
I have 4 hours to
Yeah.
kill anyway." I'm like, "Penny, just do you have Mick Ultra?" She goes, "Yes, I do, but you're not having that."
Penny runs this show.
She said, "That's not beer." And
Wow.
so I said, "Penny, okay, just bring me a lager, okay? Whatever you have on draft, you bring me whatever you want." So Penny comes back and she brings me the beer, and she also brings me a shot.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
She goes,
yeah.
"Penny's got a deal for you today, cowboy. You have a beer, you get a shot." I'm like, the last thing I want is a shot. It's a work day, Penny. Okay? So
Hold on. It was a work day. Now you're in chill mode.
Then she literally says, I look decent. I have a suit jacket on.
Yeah.
She goes, "You're a handsome man. What are you in town for? How long are you staying or whatever?" I'm like, "Well, I'm at the airport, Penny, so I'm leaving today." Clearly.
Hold on. You might be one of those like George Clooney types, up in the air.
So I guess I should feel complimented that, I'm sure Penny does this to every male customer. It's just she's been in the game so long. But I think she's been in the game so long that she just doesn't realize that I'm not in the game. I'm not even close to wanting to play Penny's game.
No.
But, and I said, "Do you have a menu, Penny?" And she goes, "It's the QR code, but it's okay. You're having a turkey Swiss burger."
Oh, this is odd.
I said, wow. And at this point, I'm just like, fine. She's ordering for me. She's bringing me I had no choice.
I would have left by then. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I would have loved it if you told her
you.
you're a vegetarian. No, you're not. Not today.
I've been about that point. I've been like, looky here, Penny.
I wanted to, but then I'm like, you know what? Come on, sell me, you beautiful bastard. Sell me. I got nothing to do. I might as well amuse myself with Penny. So when Penny brings me my burger, she not only puts the burger down, she sits at the seat across from me now. Because I guess whatever the few customers she had are gone.
Because you're friends.
So she's, tell me your story, cowboy. I'm like, Penny, I'm just a broadcaster. I was in doing an interview, and now I just gonna eat my burger and drink the beer that you force-fed me. And she's like, talk to me. And she puts her hands in her hands like this and looks at me longing. Oh, it's just like, that was like, I texted you guys that I was at a bar.
That, yes.
But this was like a half an hour before this. This was 2 minutes in.
Wow.
And so I talked for a while, and then finally she wants to go for a smoke break. And she says, Belinda or whatever will take care of you. I've got to go for a smoke break there, Jimmy. Of course she does. Belinda, who was like, 25 and sweet and pretty. And I'm like, why did I not sit in Belinda's section?
I know.
Anyway, so while Penny escaped for the smoke break, I wolfed my burger. And I said it was, I think I said to Belinda, can you give me a bill like real fast? Belinda, and it was like $28, and I put 40 down on the table. I said, Penny earned this today. Make sure she gets it. And I got the hell out of Dodge as fast as I could.
Jesus.
But I want you to go back when you go to Lauderdale, go to Whiskey's and look for Penny.
I will
She can't be missed, frankly.
Oh, my God.
It'll be me and a bunch of hockey dads, so she'll be happy to see us.
That's awesome.
Do you think that,
boy.
how... I'd like to think that I was Penny's 1 in a million, but I'm pretty sure this is her routine with everybody.
So, I'm sorry, was the restaurant dead?
Yeah, it was. Well, when I got there was probably 15, 20 people, but it was like maybe, I guess, 1 o'clock or something, so people were leaving. So there was probably 8 people in the restaurant by the time I was eating. There was nobody there. And I just don't, if this is her bit with every guy, like how many guys would just walk out when they tried to order something?
Oh, there'd be a few that would walk out.
No doubt.
Yeah. By the way, I lift out. When she brought me the burger, she brought me a second beer without me asking, and did charge me for it.
That's
wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
The shot was the only free part. 'Cause that was some sort of deal.
That's not bad.
So,
How was the burger?
it was fine.
There you go.
It was fine. It was all airport.
Not
food.
memorable.
It was fine.
Well, it's funny though. I mean, people ask all the time, and obviously you travel for different reasons, but being on the road with the band and stuff like that's part of it. Meeting those characters, right?
I know.
It's so fun.
The other thing she said, when I said I was a sportscaster, and when I didn't want to drink, she said, we get sportscasters in here all the time, and they're drinking like crazy. And I'm like, okay, thank you, Brent Musburger and Barry Melrose, for sicking Penny on me.
Those are the guys that go along with the game, Jimmy.
100%.
Musburger's sending her for all kinds of beers.
God.
Penny's like, I had him in 76.
I'm sure she did. And with that, we say welcome to, what the hell season is this of the Rubber Boots podcast?
Season 9.
Much delayed season opener for season 9. I want to apologize to, actually, I think it should be Lester who apologized, because he's basically been on the road the entire time. He's been the busiest.
Come on.
Yes.
No, it's all of us have been busy, and thus we're late this season to get started.
Well, Puffy was the one who promised a return in September, so
Did
I guess
I?
Yes,
he
he did.
should apologize.
when did you send the tweet out saying we're back soon? Was that about August?
that was like 2 weeks ago, and I was trying to get us back together.
Hey, full marks to you, Stoff. You tried your best.
Yeah.
tried your best.
It's a challenge. We all have busy lives.
Yeah,
very
and
busy.
September, October is always kind of weird because we're all over the place. And this year is going to be, I'll apologize in advance with the whole World Cup thing. We may be a little sporadic, let's say, until Christmas time. Maybe a little bit sporadic on the pod. There's also a sponsorship bidding war that's going on right now that's just getting out of hand.
Ugly.
So we're waiting on that. We were trying to hold off on that, but we couldn't for a while.
Yeah.
I'll get into that more on future editions of the podcast. But right now we are It's a clean feed.
Yes.
You guys don't have
Nice.
to worry through those annoying. I was listening to a pod on the plane home yesterday.
Yeah.
Called I don't know, The Letter or something. It was like a murder thingy. But there was like 15 minutes of commercials in there. First of all, well done, whoever you
they're
produce
doing
pods.
well.
They're doing well, but it was annoying as hell. You don't have to worry about that on the Rubber Boots pod. We're now
what's those on?
commercial free. Maybe that's the way we'll sell it this year. Commercial free.
Commercial free.
Numbers will
Commercial
be-
free all season long.
I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that. We'll continue. Even the sponsorship.
Yeah, we'll do
thing
commercials
doesn't-
even if we're not sponsored.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
right. I could always throw in
you'll
a
never know.
McAlpine Ford. once
You
in a
always
while.
could.
Peter and his team won't mind.
They're amazing.
They will not mind at all.
Weimar?
This
I'm,
minute's north of.
North of 407. Come
Okay,
visit
very
Peter and his gang. I'm branching out and doing some Ford national Instagram posts.
Is that right, eh?
Yes, which are going to make you laugh because these ones I actually have to shots of the car, shots of me driving, Matthew McConaughey full on, right? Kind of thing.
Nice.
Oh, you're talking in it while driving?
Well, no, there's all these rules. Like Hugo's going to be one, and I had to buy like a special harness for him because you can't have the dog loose in the car. That kind of thing.
Hugo's going to be driving.
Maybe.
You should do the Matthew McConaughey in the back. I think that'd be hilarious.
That'd
That'd be a good.
I can't give it away. I had an idea that I'm doing kind of, but what happened? I tried to throw that at them, and they were like, some guy tried to do the Matthew McConaughey thing, and they did a horrible job, and so Ford kind of banned the Matthew McConaughey takeoffs or something. But anyway, those will be coming soon to your favorite Instagram account. What else was I going to say? Oh, Puffy and I will try to. Puffy's coming to World Cup. I don't know if we announced that last spring. We're trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do there.
Yeah. Except
And what are the odds that Puffy ends up in one of the Qatari holding pens? What are they called?
I think
that they're
they're-
putting the drunks in?
The puffy pens.
I think they're holding pens for alcohol. People who have a little bit too much to drink. So I'm like,
That's-
what's a little too much? 'Cause
Live
Now
from
is
the
that
clink.
for the people in the designated drinking areas?
yeah, like they could.
So
just
if
pull
you
out
go
of there.
outside of there and you're too drunk, that's going to be a real problem.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful. I'm worried.
I'm concerned for Puff as well.
I'm concerned for me.
I'm
as
concerned
well.
because he's supposed to be my right-hand man the entire time.
There's no real role for him over there. You know what I
He
mean?
might be more of your fall guy, Jimmy.
I'm a little bit of a roamer.
He's your fall guy, not your right hand man.
Hey, one last thing from the on a more serious note from the plane yesterday. So, the airport's still doing this whole. Have you guys gotten caught in any flights home where they say everybody sit on the flight, only people go off on connectors, and then we're going to release 50 at a time because it's busy in customs? This is what's been
I
happening.
have not had that. Had that
You've, I'm sure you've heard all the
Yes.
horror airport stories from the
Yeah.
last 6 months, of which most are true. I experienced a couple of them. But you basically have to sit. Customs was so crazy that they developed this new policy where your plane lands, you get to the gate, and then you have to sit there. And the captain will say the first 50 people can leave. And then 5 minutes later, the next 50 people can leave. So if you're in a big-ass plane with 500 people, it might be another 40 minutes before you get off the plane.
That's crazy.
To not fill up customs. For whatever reason, they're still doing this even though customs isn't busy last
Okay.
night. So that's just ridiculous. But last night, they say you have to sit on the plane. The only people can leave are people who have connectors, and they were obviously late because our flight was 3 hours late. So they start running up. But I noticed a lady come on the plane with a dog.
Yeah.
It was a service dog. She had a little service dog thing on it, but it was a little dog.
Okay.
And she is clearly in a panic with this dog carrying it, rushing towards the front of the plane. The dog was sick. Something had gone wrong in the flight. The flight attendant on WestJet says, "You can't leave, ma'am." And she immediately starts sobbing. She said, "I have to get to the emergency vet right away." She says, "I'm sorry, I can't let you leave. Only connectors leave."
So this dog's
At which
gonna
point,
die.
What?
at which point, I got up and said, I was like in row 3, and
Poor Jimmy.
and then the captain came out at the same time before I had to cause a commotion
Yeah.
and said, "What's the problem?" And she said, "He's let her off the plane."
Yeah, geez.
So WestJet
job,
flight
Captain.
attendant, we're like, "What are you thinking?"
Listen.
Also, if I'm the lady, just say you have a connecting flight and tell her to move.
Well, no, you had to show your boarding pass for your connecting flight. So
Okay.
just a horrible misjudgment.
I can't understand it. Look, why does it have to come to the point where the captain has to come out and tell you that? You can't see
It's
that that's an emergency
listen.
situation.
Sometimes you just got to listen to other people, and
Well, look,
you'll recognize,
you know,
obviously, this is a situation.
Here's what I think
where-
has happened. I had this happen on my flight home from Europe in the summer. And what happens is this was a long flight, right? We were flying from Paris. So people try to get off when they don't have connectors, because they're selfish, right?
Yes.
They've been on a flight for 8 hours, and instead of sitting like everybody else, they just want the heck off the plane. And so this must happen all the time where people just want to get off, and so they don't have the connectors. And so the flight attendants have been trained, nobody except the connectors, get off, sit your ass down. And she had been she just wasn't thinking clearly. But come on, that just, as a dog person as well, I was extremely angry. So be better, WestJet flight attendant.
Well,
whoever
listen,
you are.
I'll tell you a quick story. I was supposed to meet a friend of mine for a drink last night. She's coming in from Montreal, lands at 8:30, sits on the tarmac for 45 minutes. What is that about?
Yeah, it's happening all the time.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on.
Well, from Montreal, there's no customs.
Exactly. So what is the problem? I don't get it.
You know what? I was going to say this. Stoff had written out a bunch of different things for Jimmy's Summer Adventures, which was a short series, usually like a 6-part Netflix series.
That we usually abandon 3 parts in.
Right. Which we will again. But let's try to make it last 2 or 3 parts this time. So,
Jimmy, that could take us into the new year.
Yeah, that might.
It'll be like February.
Do we have it? We had a theme for that last year,
There is a
right?
theme.
Okay, let's play the theme.
Jimmy's Summer Adventures, what can we say? He played golf with the boys just about every single day. He had a good time and everything was fine. So I guess you could say the summer was a beauty.
I wasn't going to tell this one because it's not the most exciting of Jimmy Summer's adventures but we were on a theme of travel, so I'll tell this one. This is one of the most ludicrous lost luggage stories that I have for the summer. First of all, I traveled. I went to Turks with the family, and then I went to Europe on a pseudo-fun assignment. Mostly fun that I turned into work by interviewing Croatians about Canadian soccer.
Were you able to get any money back from the...
I was not. That was my plan. It failed.
Don't get me started.
So they lost Gracie's bag on the way to Turks and Caicos, the Air Canada. Whatever. We got it back like 30 hours later. And you got this insurance. You can go spend like $500, right?
Oh,
'Cause
really?
If your bag is delayed more than 24 hours, if you have whatever credit cards, usually your credit card covers like
if it's
$500.
delayed and not lost,
$1,000.
you're balling.
You're gold.
Delayed is
Gold.
delayed is actually the best thing to happen, especially if you're not going like wheeling around Europe, but you're going like to one destination. And you should actually, when you pack your family next trip, you go do like a halvesy. Like put half your stuff in Tanya's, half your stuff in whatever, so that way you have some stuff, and then you can go shopping if the luggage gets
Could you
lost.
just like throw your bag somewhere else and then say it got lost?
No,
Or just not pick it up from the airport, though. Just let it
no,
keep
because
going in the
then it's
carousel.
there. Then it's there.
Yeah.
So
They're not going to know.
Whatever.
But you only have until they give you your bag to spend money?
yeah, but you got to like if you're in Turks or somewhere, you
Depends
know
on the
that.
amount
I think
of
it has to be 24 hours for most of the insurance, and it's actually a pain in the ass to file the claim and everything. I'm realizing, so it's probably not worth the $500 of free clothes
Puffy.
Gracie got.
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale.
But
Penny?
Penny.
So we fly to Brooksy and I fly to Vienna. We're going to spend a couple of days in Vienna, then go to Croatia,
Nice.
part of Jimmy's Summer's Adventures and a future edition. And then we're going one night in Paris, and then we're coming home. Quite a
night
little
in
romantic,
Paris.
quite a
Very
little
well
romantic
done.
trip. So my bag doesn't make it to Vienna. But after the Turks and Caicos episode, I bought those Apple AirTags. Here's another customer. You can buy these. You know what Apple AirTags are?
No idea.
Okay, an Apple AirTag is about the size of a loonie.
Okay.
And you basically can put it on anything. You could stick it in your wallet. You could stick it in your car. You could
Keys.
stick it on your wife to track her. And it basically tracks where it is. So then on your phone,
What do they look like?
if you go to find my iPhone, all the AirTags will. So whatever you have it attached to, you put on your son, and you know exactly where he is.
So
I don't
cool.
like
They're
that.
tracers.
you know, there was like in Atlanta, there was a big thing about famous people going there and getting robbed, and that's exactly what it was. Is they were putting the tracers at the airport. They would see someone famous, they would just stick it on their luggage, and then they would find out where they
Yeah,
were.
I got to watch out for that.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Maybe
famous.
that's what.
I don't
Maybe
think
that's what
anybody
Penny
going to
was.
bother with me. Maybe Rick Mercer.
Maybe Penny was trying to
I
set
think
you up.
Penny was
Yeah.
trying to set you up. Buddy.
Penny tagged me.
Forgot the tag though.
But it's quite brilliant for luggage because you put it in. And by the way, there's a story that Lufthansa is trying to ban them. So I don't know if it interferes with communication or something. So maybe this is
Planes are just going spiking down.
all over the place.
Oh, that Lufthansa.
So I buy them for stick them in our luggage. And so I get to Vienna, my baggage doesn't arrive. Get on my phone, and there it is, still sitting at Pearson. You can just see it's got a little map of Pearson. There it is, sticking in the corner.
Okay.
And I watch it all day, and it's not moving.
Yeah.
But so you DM Air Canada, and you tell them, this is my problem. My baggage didn't make it. They file a lost claim, all this crap. And so we're only in, like I said, Vienna for a day and a half. So we're enjoying Vienna. The next day, I expect my luggage to show up because there's another Air Canada flight the next morning. So I watch the next day, plane lands, and there it is. There's my Air Canada luggage is now at the Vienna airport.
Okay, good.
So I'm like, good, it made it. But we got to fly that night to Croatia. So I'm like, are they going to deliver it in time? Do I have a lot of faith in Air Canada / Austrian Airlines, their partner or whatever? So you were going around exploring Vienna, doing little Instagram posts, Brooksy shopping, all the stuff you do in Vienna. And I keep looking, and it hasn't moved at this Vienna airport. It's just stuck in the same spot. Now we're getting close to flight time. So now I'm worried, am I going to go to the airport and it's going to pass me coming the other way, and I'm not going to have my baggage in Croatia? Bottom line, I said, we better go to the airport early and try to find this thing. So I get to the airport, and you go. First, I went to like the lost and found counter, and I'm like, I have lost luggage, and they're like, yeah, it's all in the big storage bin. We can't access this. I'm the only guy on shift. Shift change doesn't happen.
My God.
Doesn't little Moritz doesn't come in till 11, so I can't leave here. I can't help you. I'm like, all right, okay. So can I get into arrivals and talk to the woman that I talked to, when I lost my luggage? And yeah, so they let me in there, and she goes, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We can't help you on that. I'm like, okay. So, but
Weren't you showing them where your luggage
I'm like,
is?
look, my luggage is right here. And they're like, yeah, I don't think we can access that place. I'm going, okay. And so then I'm DMing Air Canada, and they're like, yeah, our baggage team is on it, which is pure BS. They don't even have an Air Canada employee at the Austrian airport. Like, there's nobody there.
They have a baggage team.
It's the Austrian Airlines woman. And she's already told me she can't help me, basically.
Yeah.
And that's who the Air Canada baggage team that's on the case, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So finally,
They've exhausted all their
I find some person, and I said, can you tell me where this is in the airport? It's like just a guy, a cleaning staff or something. He's like, yeah, that's like the lost luggage place. You got to go down these three little alleyways, turn left, turn left, turn left. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
So I'm following these directions, and it's like in the middle of nowhere. Like, I don't know how anyone could find it. And then suddenly I arrive in this room, which is open. There's no door. And the last scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the Ark of the
chalice?
Covenant,
Yeah.
they walk into the room.
Yeah.
And it's like an Amazon warehouse.
Yeah.
There's 8 million things. So the whole concept is this beautiful Ark of the Covenant is just getting treated like any other piece of crap, right?
Yeah.
That's the last scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
So that's I walk into this room. There is 3,000 pieces of lost luggage just piled up.
Wow.
Piled up. And I'm going, what the hell? And I walked around for like 3 minutes, and Brooksy, smart as she is, she puts little ribbons on our luggage. And I found it at the bottom of a pile of like 12 other pieces of luggage.
Wow.
There's no tag on it except my tag. There's no return this to the
Oh
Marriott friggin' Vienna. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It would have sat there for, I don't know what, weeks?
Yeah.
Months?
For sure.
So there's one guy in there. I get a hold of him, and I'm like, hey, bud, this is my suitcase. And he goes, okay, take it.
That's it?
I don't sign anything.
The baggage team.
Nothing. I just take the suitcase and I go and off to Croatia. I go.
Why'd you only take one?
Well, exactly. But so how is this the system? This is the system in 2022.
I would have been
What?
like, I got our luggage.
What's
my
happening?
God.
And meanwhile, Air Canada's like, yeah, our baggage team's all over this, and
Oh my God.
Why isn't Air Canada throwing these AirPod things on each bag of luggage?
well, exactly. This is where the world should be going. But when would I have gotten my bag back, and
Never.
how?
You wouldn't
Never.
have. You
How
wouldn't.
would I have gotten it back?
You would never gotten that
Do
bag
you
back.
have to charge those AirPods?
No, they seem to work. I don't know what the system is on that.
How
Like,
long would that
I don't know.
beep for? That's
I don't know.
interesting.
It does. I think the batteries must last a long time because they don't beep unless you make them beep, right?
They didn't get one for the missus?
That's what that one thing. So I was in there going like making
Track.
it beep. That didn't help me, but the tag
I
helped.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
is that what found? Not the ribbon. It was the beeping.
No, it was the ribbon, not the beeping. But wait a second. Like, shouldn't the guy have me sign a form?
Yes.
You would
Like,
think.
how is Air Canada ever going to know that I
Ask
got
you for
my
some-
bag?
Ask
Jimmy,
you for
there-
some ID, something.
They
Right.
probably hold an
Something.
auction in that room like once a week, just for different
You could
people's.
be.
So here's the topper.
Luggage.
Now here's the topper.
That's
So now I got to make an insurance claim. I went and bought In this case, I went and bought one jacket in Vienna, like a 600 euros nice jacket, because I'm like, screw these guys. And I go to.
Hold on. Don't you only have $500?
No, this one. Well, I would just say I'd pay the extra.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I figured if they didn't cover for it, I'd just pay the extra 100 euros myself or whatever. So
No big deal.
Yeah.
Jimmy. Come on.
It's a euro, Puffy.
Jump
come on.
change.
It's a euro.
So
Give or
you
take
go
a
to
euro.
file the claims, and they go, "Yeah, we need the forms of when you got your luggage back." And I'm like, "Yeah, they didn't give me a form. They just gave me my luggage." And they're like, "Yeah, well, we can't process your claim then."
So you're on the hook for the $600.
Well, I don't know.
jacket?
I'm obviously pursuing this with my team of lawyers.
God.
But
So they designed a system where they
Yeah.
lose your luggage, do
But-
not help you find it.
Right.
When you get it back yourself, they offer you no proof, so
Correct.
they don't have to reimburse you.
correct,
Wow.
and correct.
Yeah, they're
That's
smart.
brilliant.
And even
Yeah.
in Turks and Caicos, they didn't like my luggage just came to the hotel and they called me and said, your luggage is here, and they delivered it. There wasn't any. So I suppose they're supposed to give you a form that you sign when you get your luggage back. I'm not saying this never happens, but clearly there are some major flaws in the lost luggage system going on.
I would
right
think.
now.
I would think though that in all seriousness, just what's happened with the pandemic and shortages of labor and whatnot. That I would hope that is why you were able to get your luggage like that, and there was no problem.
You know what? And the other
Pre-pandemic,
thing,
maybe it wouldn't have
I'm
been the
patient
case.
with the airlines. Like,
Sure.
I
You're very patient.
almost until my WestJet flight yesterday. Every Air Canada flight that I went on this summer was on time.
Mm-hmm.
Turks and back, Vienna back, or from Paris back. Everything was on time. So all the nightmares people talked about, which I had some friends go through it about waiting 24 hours. And
Yeah.
Ryan Whitney had the big one, I think, that launched got mentioned in Parliament back in
It
the
did.
spring. I'm sure they were all true. I had good experiences, except for this lost luggage fiasco. There you go. It wasn't a really fun installment of Jimmy's Adventures, but I thought I needed to share.
We all learned something.
Will they get more fun?
Oh, they're going to get so much fun.
Nice.
There's going to be like sex and dolphins and all sorts of
Oh,
things.
not together.
Maybe in the
Dolphins.
same story.
Not together.
Wow, nice.
There's no dolphins. What about you guys? Lester seemed to be touring all summer long.
I was busy. I did a little bit of flying myself. Was out in BC. Was out in Alberta. Was out in Saskatchewan. At various
All
points.
playing gigs?
all playing,
All Elton Ron or
all
the,
Elton. It was good.
Okay.
We had a great time out there, and
awesome.
we were able to go down to the States a couple times as well and play down there, which was great. No complaints. Like 5 shows in Ohio over the course of the summer. And
5 shows in Ohio.
Yeah.
Isn't that a song?
That is.
No,
Yes.
it's three dead in Ohio. Right?
I don't know. But in any case,
more
It's
positive.
Neil
it was a
Young,
great
isn't
summer,
it?
and just lots of travel, lots of music, and my band played a few times here and there.
Which band? That's the Lester and the Expendables. What is it called?
The Lester McLean Band, as a
Lester
matter of fact.
McLean Band.
Yes.
So
yes,
hold
and
on, did they
Grooveyard
like
and-
piggyback on some of the Elton Ron stuff, or
No.
it's just-
Honestly, all separate this year. I at one point I did back in 2019 when I toured with Tony Ferraro. I went out to BC and it was I did
The Wonder Boy.
I did a show in Calgary with Elton and stayed out there and went to
You double
went to
dipping.
BC. So yeah,
Double dipping. Did you get Elton to pay the expenses?
Oh, well, I got the flight out there. That's for sure.
That's right.
So it all worked out.
And Puffy, your summer up in you were up in the
Up
Prince
in the
Edward County
Yep,
a
we're up
lot.
in the county quite a bit. And,
So are you finding that you're up in the county so much that you're not getting the rental income that you actually bought this place for?
No, we're doing pretty good.
Or are you like one of those verbos that you the people show up and you're actually still
Yeah,
staying
you're
there?
still there. It's
And they're like,
super
what the
awkward.
hell?
Sharing with us this weekend. No, we had our last rental of the year last weekend,
Okay.
and we probably had our first in maybe April,
Okay.
March. So between that, we only do 30 days. That's our deal because otherwise you have to get more insurance, and we wouldn't go over that insurance marker.
No, for something
way. That's
under the
not-
table.
yeah, that's not
never-
happening.
That wouldn't be legal.
So yeah, we Tanya was a little worried we wouldn't be up there as much as she wanted, but we were up there quite a bit. Yeah,
And how are the boys? The boys are good.
boys are good. Yep, back at school now. So
Austin, and are they into girls yet?
they are.
Ooh.
They are. They're both on the Snapchat,
Oh boy.
and I guess Austin is
What would you think be the odds? How old are they? I don't want to offend
12
anybody.
and 10. 12 and 10.
Okay, so probably no DPs yet.
There's definitely not.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure though?
But Barrett's definitely getting a little bit talky and
With the
stuffy stuff.
talky with the girly.
Yeah.
Is that right, eh?
But Austin's trying to catch up, and he did one of those like ask me anythings,
On Reddit?
No, but he did it on
Snapchat?
Snap. And so Tanya follows him on it. And she's like, Austin, what is this? And I guess someone asked him, like, some girl's name, does she give you a boner? And he posted it. Like,
my
you
God.
don't have to post it. Like, that is, like, turn that down.
But doesn't the snappy just disappear in 10 seconds?
Yeah, but people could do screen grabs.
Screen grab. That's all it takes, man. That's all it
we're
takes.
like-
And now he can't be prime minister in 20
Yeah,
years.
we're like, dude, you gotta be like, come on. He's trying to figure it out, but it's pretty funny.
Does she give you a boner? And did she?
I don't know how he answered that. I didn't ask.
Wow.
I'm like, do you even know what a boner is? He did know.
Do you know, when you have to worry is when they start saying like, hey, this girl, I've seen her around, and she's like, yeah, we're hanging out a little.
Yeah.
This term hanging out is changed,
Yes, it has.
right? Like when we
Oh,
were,
yes.
if we were back in our day,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're still having a day.
No, I'm pretty much retired now, brother.
When you were
I'm
hanging
down.
it, if you were,
I'm
if,
down. I'm down
breaking
somewhere.
news.
Yeah,
nice.
I was never. Listen, guys, I was
Breaking
never
news.
that guy. You know what I mean?
You were a bit of a whore.
just for a short time.
You were our loose friend.
Yeah.
There was episode like
let's
season
just-
4, episode 3. Who was
my
our
numbers,
guy?
my numbers might have been up at one point.
There's
Solid
definitely some
numbers.
whoring going on.
Yes. Wow, tied down. Like, so could there be a little bit of a event in the future?
Oh, no,
Like
no,
a birthday party?
No.
That's what I was thinking. Exactly.
CD release party, perhaps.
Would you ever get married?
Listen. I'm. It's not off the table, but right now, the way things are, I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What if you really loved the woman? What was her name? The current one?
Stephanie.
Stephanie, of course.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Look, it took me like 8 years on Nicole. So, what if she gave you an ultimatum?
Lester McLean and ultimatums don't work for
they
her.
don't work.
Don't ever do it.
That's a badass.
Don't ever do it.
You would have handled Penny a lot better than I did.
Look at Penny.
Penny have gave me an ultimatum. I'm like, all right, I'll marry you, Penny.
I want some water.
I'll leave Brooksy.
Bring me the water.
Please, you're scaring me. Well, anyway, congrats. But anyway, back in the day, like if somebody said to me, I'm hanging out with a girl, I meant I'm like hanging out with her playing video games.
Yeah.
But now hanging out seems to mean the sex. Is that right?
Oh.
Well, I would say so.
Well, I asked you this because I think it was Gracie like she hadn't had a boyfriend yet, and then I got word through the grapevine, Darian, she talks a lot, that
Loose lips.
Gracie was hanging out with somebody, and I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Because somebody told me the other day, like hanging out just means like they're
Going for ice
Yeah.
cream.
Well, I hate to point this out to you, but hanging rhymes with banging.
Oh.
Jesus.
So
That's not helpful.
did Darian confirm?
Way to ease him into that one.
No, I didn't say what is that. I just said what does that mean anymore? Because I don't know. What they're not boyfriend girlfriend. They're just hanging out.
H&B are
What does
close
that
on the
mean?
keyboard.
So maybe our listeners can write in and just maybe we have a lot of people in like the 16 to 18, 20 crowd in our listenership that can tell us what the hanging out. Should I be concerned about Gracie hanging out?
I honestly, I think hanging out should be just hanging out. I think when you're moving towards something
not
else,
what I
the
hear.
word that I keep hearing is entangled. We are entangled. We have some
entanglement.
Entangled.
Entanglements,
Like the
yes.
Smiths.
Yes.
Well, that makes sense.
Or a
But
situation.
I hear that hanging out is more than hanging out.
But would you rather the Gracie be just with like one guy or like sort of dating, hanging out with a lot of guys?
Yeah, the latter, Puffy. The latter.
What are you even talking about?
For sure.
I thought I ruined this day, not me. No.
I don't know. I have boys. I don't know. I thought it was the same for everyone.
Stoff,
Just fun boner talk with the boys.
Stoff, was your summer awesome?
It was good. Yeah, it was good. Can't complain. Stayed pretty local. Went to the cottage a couple times for a couple weeks here and there.
Yes. Cars, any car breakdowns?
I had my car fixed over the summer. It took a while. I messaged you guys. Mechanic just went on vacation while fixing my car. I literally called for an update, and they're like, "We're closed for 2 weeks." I'm like,
What?
"Okay."
Again, like how does that happen?
I don't know. And this guy's like really good, and he's legit like one of the most honest mechanics. He's famous in Bradford for it. It takes
Yeah.
forever to get an appointment, so he must have literally just slipped his mind. But the car's really good. Like I'm getting insane gas mileage on it.
Now's the time to get insane gas
That's
pumps.
what it
Good.
is. So
Wow.
Good.
pleased with that, and yeah, looking forward to another season.
There
of this.
wasn't there a murder in Bradford recently?
There was
A body found. Because all the top
mystery was?
podcasts are death
They
mysteries. So
are,
why don't we
yeah.
the Bradford body?
So there
episode
was one
2.
in Canal Road there in the canal. They found one. This was a couple months back, but we also had like a fatal stabbing up in Bradford a little while ago where someone was defending.
Are the
like, a
two
lady.
connected? That's episode 3 of the Bradford body. Let's lighten it up and get to some of our favorite segments. Stoff had an entire summer to put together things that I saw on Twitter.
I was on Twitter also.
So it better be good. We'll be doing this for the next 9 hours.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
All right, perfect. So we'll start with this one here. I came across, it was a story someone posted.
Oh, do you want me to read it?
Yes, if you could read that story, and then I'll play the audio that corresponds to it.
It's good to have a professional broadcaster reading it instead of just a producer who hangs out in a podcast once in a while. My 20-year-old girlfriend of 2 years told me the music that I play, I'm 25, she's 20, during sex is weird and a major turnoff. Little backstory. When I first started having sex, hanging out, in brackets, it doesn't say that, I researched into ways to be better, as I was a little stiff. That's actually
That's
to
a
be
good
good.
thing. Yeah.
And pretty much had no idea what I was doing. I think we can all relate to that. We should do a first sexual encounter podcast.
That'd be. I will do that. Sure.
Okay.
A little too eager there.
Oh yeah, that's great.
No, I think it'll be fun. I'm sorry, but like, yeah, I'm all over it. Let's do it. Please, Jimmy, continue.
What is it, fresh in your mind?
That lucky gal,
No wonder he
Stephanie.
said that she's
I'm just hanging out with her.
I read.
You don't want to marry quite quickly.
Oh, Jesus.
You waited this long, and then I read online that you can play music and match the rhythm in order to put on a better performance. As soon as I started reading this, this reminded me of my Acapulco lovemaking tape from 1985 or so.
Hold on. When you say lovemaking tape,
Well, I didn't want to call it a sex tape. That sounded too crude.
Hold on. You actually did not put music on.
Yes, I had
while having one night stands in Acapulco.
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
On
all the
my
music. Sorry, I thought it was a tape you recorded yourself.
with a cassette tape on a ghetto blaster.
wait 1 second.
we need that playlist. We need that playlist.
It was,
Jimmy.
by the way, well, I can tell you a couple of them because I was in the height of my Jamaican friends,
Yeah.
Kennedy and Dave Shaw. Dave Shaw just called me before this podcast.
Bob Marley jamming.
and so that's when I was hanging out with them a lot. So it was a lot of real, grooving kind of Motown-y funk sexuality sort of
Okay.
thing. Like, what was it? Do you remember the song? You read my mind, girl, I want to shake
Oh, yeah.
you down.
That's a Gregory
That was
Isaacs, yes.
definitely on there. That was my number one. We'll go all the way to heaven. Sorry, I didn't mean to butcher that. But
No, it's okay. No, I can't
Tell
remember.
me
I
the
give you the
movie.
wrong item. But
you
I
read my
artist.
mind, girl, I want to shake you
I want to make sure we're
down.
getting that on camera.
He stopped recording over here.
Good thing there's no video on that one.
Oh, there'll be video.
Anyway, my lovemaking tape, it was one of those 70% of the time it works 25% of the time. Okay, back to our letter here.
Yes.
I searched lovemaking songs and started slowly creating a playlist in which I was comfortable matching the rhythm. There are a few songs to my playlist, however, one song in particular, my favorite, that my girlfriend hates and turns her off in a major way.
Shake you down.
You read my mind. There was from Boys to Men on there too, I think. Probably some Bobby Brown. A lot of stuff on there. I don't understand why it has taken her 2 years to tell me she hates that song. It's a good lovemaking song with good rhythm. I feel the way I effed up is I could have possibly asked her previously if she likes the playlist or any songs that she'd like to add change, but to leave it for 2 years thinking our sex life is great, but in her eyes it was being ruined by my music, has left the whole situation awkward and a bit annoyed. I played this tune every single time. So, every single time she wasn't enjoying it. I'm trying to fast forward here because it's a long letter. Not to mention my previous partners. They never complained about the song. Maybe it's just her. It's effed up the relationship because sex feels awkward now. The other day we were having sex with no music, but I was still thrusting to the tune in my head. She recognized this and asked me to stop. I thought this song was...
mouthing the lyrics.
Let's see if I can do that. I thought the song was perfect, and I always thrust along with the tune, and it gives me the perfect rhythm for doing the deed too. We should also have to come up next week with our lovemaking song, if we had to pick one on our list.
Mine's hello.
Of course it is. So is mine.
Hello.
Mine's Puck Over Glass. Puck over glass. ass. I'm going to slap you.
Come on. Hey, now.
Sorry, episode 1's are in trouble.
Welcome to season 9. No
Thank
edits.
God there's no
The
sponsors.
Sponsors were holding us back.
That's right. All right. So anyway, the song itself. Here, are you going to play the song for us?
Yes.
Okay. Here is the song
This is
that
the sexy time music.
he's made love to.
And let's just imagine what you would feel like
And
you
this
know, being
is
the partner.
Yes.
on the
Number
receiving
one.
end of
This is the
Yes.
number one pick.
Yes, this is the number 1 pick. So there's a bit of an opening here. I'm only picturing this being like some sort of build or something bigger here.
This is the foreplay portion of it, right?
God.
I can see this.
Yeah, coming up here. It's kind of, getting settled in.
I feel like this is Pee Wee Herman's song that he would make love to.
Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. You
All
like
right.
that?
I'm trying to see how you...
Okay. Is this a bit? This whole thing's fake, right?
I don't know, man. Why?
It's
Post
somebody
something
went
that
to-
embarrassing?
Well, because it's too good a punchline to not be. This can't be real.
Well, one of the best parts is there's like videos of people after like basically grinding to the song, trying to imagine his rhythm, and it is some of the most. I'll put some of that up because that's some of the hilarious stuff. But
Oh my goodness.
just in general, the fact that she recognized it without the music.
Oh my
He
God.
must have been humming
Oh
it.
yeah.
Oh.
The
goodness
bird
me.
noises at the beginning.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I hope it's real. I just don't believe anything's real anymore, but I hope it's real.
No, listen, I think I don't see that as being fake. I mean, listen, that's a long way to go for a joke, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
But
You like that?
I mean, the backbeat's not bad.
Tell daddy how it feels, girl. Yeah.
I just don't know how anyone puts music on.
Look at me, girl. I'm
before they're gonna
talking to
have
you.
sex.
Oh, I mean, I've done it. You've never had.
No.
Of course you want to have
like-
music on. It's wonderful.
No.
Background.
Like, if it's
Not
even on,
this, but-
if I'm watching porn and they have music on, it's like next video.
Really?
I'll back you up
Yeah.
on that. I like the nice organic sounds.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
thing.
Brooksy used to like.
I wanna hear-
You guys are select.
I want to
You
hear
guys are
myself
selective
breathe.
with your porn, man. It's like, oh no, I've heard this one
Music.
already 100 times.
Brooksy liked Anita Baker. She always
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to put on a little when like if she'd have me over for dinner in the early days, and
Yeah.
then the Anita Baker came on.
yeah,
That's when Jimmy knew that
You're getting-
stuff was going to go down.
Oh yeah, you got a boner now?
That's right. I did a little bit.
Jimmy's gonna drive home fast now.
What was another song on my cassette? I think it was Chris Isaac's "Wicked Game."
That's a good
Oh yeah,
song.
that's a good one.
What a good game.
But I just think I'd be.
It felt so.
laughing
I
if
felt like I was
banging to that.
mysterious when I was doing that. Well, you would be laughing, but I was a cheeseball,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, that's all good. Listen.
I thought I was. I thought I was pretty cool.
By the way, Jimmy, your jam is "Shake You Down" by Gregory Abbott.
Yeah, Gregory
Abbott. I said the wrong Gregory
song.
before.
Girl, I want
That's
to
a
shake
great
you down.
tune.
Yeah. I think I also had on it. What was that song about? It's just a terrible song to have on the tape, but I think it was on there. I saw you walking in the rain. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do
You're just
remember.
a squirrel trying to get a nut. Because that was like a breakup song, but I had it on my my lovin'. So your homework is to find your makeout song, your favorite. If Puffy, if you had to listen to one, what would it be? Anything else on the Twitter from your entire summer? Or was that it? That's all you found.
Once
all
I
you
found that song, it was just on loop the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I do have this clip here. It appears to be from a show, I guess one of those America's Got Talent type shows,
Right,
but from
right.
another country, where this gentleman claims to be the fastest reader on Earth.
Oh, God.
Now they look like an island country, like maybe it's like Barbados or
I
something.
don't want to
they're
jump to
doing
any
that.
conclusions.
All
'cause
right.
Last year I called the stewardess a woman and it
All right.
wasn't.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
right,
So
right.
this might be on
Right.
Iceland's Got
But it was an
Talent.
island version.
Don't know.
Did you look at the videotape?
I saw it.
Yeah, it looked like it was
I think
somewhere
so.
in the
I think so.
somewhere in the islands.
I feel more comfortable with it now.
Yeah. And this guy, what do you? Are you going to play it or explain
I'm
it?
going to play it, and we can. When he's doing the reading, we can explain what
Okay,
he's doing. But
okay.
yeah, this is an excerpt from the show.
I'm the fastest reader in the world. I read 1,679 pages book within 2 seconds.
Yes. Go on.
So right now he's just flipping through the pages and talking gibberish, basically.
What is it? What
It
just
was
happened?
fast, so you didn't know.
What just happened now? What did you learn from the book that you just read?
The first one is pretty real.
I will chew your meat. Are you crazy? Think I have to talk with you.
I just read. I can read fast.
You don't understand what you are reading. Then what's the point? Anybody can do what you just did. What kind of talent is this?
Definitely African, by the way.
I
For
just
sure.
love that he was so committed to it that after it all befuddled and he's like, well, I read fast. That's why you could have.
First of all,
I will chew your meat.
why would you
your
say
meat.
2 seconds? Like, give yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, say like a
You know
minute.
what I mean? 2 seconds? Come on.
But was he again? He's just doing a bit, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess he went up there being funny, but these guys weren't having
they
it.
were angry.
upset.
Oh.
Like, I would love for, what is it, like the judges on American Idol
To say that, Simon
yeah.
Cowell, I will chew your meat.
I think we should adapt that phrase. That can't be
I like
the
it.
one.
Hilarious.
Can you isolate that and just?
I will chew your meat.
Yes. When everybody, when Puffy makes us mad or something.
Yeah.
All right.
Never.
I will chew your meat. Are you crazy?
Good saying.
You know what? That totally, that's the embodiment of people's frustration with people
When you're just being an
just trying to
idiot.
be
Well,
like,
I mean, this guy
all
just
this
showed up
nonsense.
to work.
Yeah, I know.
and you got to deal with this now.
I know. Like, come on.
Trying to find real talent.
Trying to feed my family, and you come up here with like this.
Well, the TikTok is full of pranks and stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes people go for it, but sometimes people just have no time for their idiocy.
man.
And somebody's going to get murdered.
You know what I have to
good.
say? I'm addicted to it a little bit, but these videos, these fails where guys are on their like skateboard,
Right.
Like I've seen so many guys like do these things and they got the camera all positioned and everything, and it's a horrible fail to the point where like you think they broke their neck or something. It's awful, but some
you
are
laugh.
very funny.
Well, I mean, it
laugh.
made America's Funniest Videos is still on like 30 years later.
That's true, but these things are like serious, horrific injuries. Like
Right.
guys going ass over tea kettle and landing on the top of their head. It's awful.
Well, anything else before we move on?
Well, we can. I'll update you guys on this because we talked about it last season. The leg lengthening. This is like part of the mainstream now. People are just doing
I
it.
thought it was just some. So this is a real, actual trend.
Well, apparently, a lot of people started doing it during the pandemic, and I'm thinking the thinking was like,
Well, that makes
I'm
sense.
sure
If you're gonna ever
people
do it-
see me 6 months, like
They'll
2 years
forget.
from now, they'll be like, "Hey, are you taller?" And you'll be like, "No."
Yeah.
What do you think I grew?
Exactly.
I think that's
So,
the thinking there.
but we have actual proof that more guys are doing this.
That's what this article is. That the
And they're
guys
rich
have been
guys,
doing it.
right? Rich
well, I think
guys
you
do
got to
it.
be. You're plunking down like close to 100K.
What is it?
or-
What is it going to cost me to get 2 inches? Taller,
talking
taller,
height.
taller.
those kind of stats.
You want girth?
This is
Only 2. I don't know. I think he's been for 6 inches, so maybe 2 inches closer to like
6
40 pounds.
inches?
Yeah.
6 inches of height.
I think that's why I think I saw it.
The pain in your legs must be.
Well, that's just
that's
imagine like
insane.
you get this done, you can't walk for a while, you have pain for a very long time.
of course.
And like no one notices it.
I also think
probably.
you can't be normal again. You probably can't play sports. The bones
No,
won't
you're like
function
you're like
properly.
a pelican.
Yeah.
Like or a
Jesus.
stork, like one of those.
It's sad.
There's a movie
Sad,
called
frankly.
Gattaca from 1997.
I remember the name
It's,
of it.
it's an Ethan Hawke film, but the premise is that he wants to do some type of space travel, and he doesn't have the qualifications DNA wise.
Okay.
So he steals DNA, but then in order to match the guy perfectly, they do exactly that. They break his legs and lengthen his legs. Yeah. So, but again, I just wondered. Like, forgive me, guys. I'm at the point right now, and maybe it's just because I turned 50 a couple years ago. But it's like, listen, you're 5'7". That's the way it is. Be happy with that. Live with that. What are you going to get out of adding, another 3 inches?
how tall are you?
I'm 5'10" and a half.
Most of
No, it's like with the half.
I'm
in.
6'2". I don't know what they want.
But you used to be 5'7".
Just be short, you little shorty.
I wish I was 6 feet, but I'm not. I'm 5'10" and a half. That's
Except
fine.
you're not having sex, and then
You know what I
get
mean?
on with it.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I just find, like,
I'm sure
what
all
are we
these
doing?
long-legged guys are having all kinds of sex as soon as they're done
What are we
with the
doing?
surgery.
I have a friend of mine, her daughter, good-looking girl. she went and got butt implants. Like she's young. She's only
That's the
20-something.
That's the Kardashians'
Yeah,
fault.
why? That's your butt.
Right.
And quite frankly, if she had worked out and done some squats, she'd get the same effect. I feel. Not that I was looking at my friend's 20-year-old daughter's ass.
Feels
but
like you had.
None of us
I
were.
think there was something going on there.
Does she have an Instagram? Does she have an Instagram?
You read my mind.
I gotta get that.
It is making me horny now.
I'm starting to get there too. Yeah.
I will chew your meat.
Now I'm not.
But it
Hey,
was turn off.
Puffy probably took the entire summer, didn't come up with any hypotheticals, but I thought we could play off the one that we stole from Barstool and we were talking about the other night in the studio.
Yep.
Theme. So this is
Sorry, we have a stolen from Barstool theme?
No,
no, Puffy's hypotheticals theme.
Took it from Barstool.
Yo. 1, 2.
These hypotheticals are messing with my mind. These hypotheticals, what's gonna be this time? These hypotheticals are blowing my mind again. These hypotheticals.
So Drager, as he usually does, just stirs up crap and outed me on this, that we were talking about how far would you have to be away from the hole if you could place your ball on every hole, like 20 yards, 30 yards, 100 yards, 150 yards, on every hole. How far would you have to be away to win the Masters? So I started talking about 100 yards, not saying I could win the Masters at 100 yards, but I started to figure out what could I shoot at 100 yards. Then Drake's post that I said I could win the Masters. And so I have all these golf people shooting me down, telling me I'm nuts. There's no way I could win the Masters, which I probably agree with.
Yeah, no chance.
I would, because there would be a 12 or something somewhere in there where I got in a bad spot and couldn't get out of it.
I just don't think you'd make enough birdies.
But I think it would.
From 100 yards out, you're saying?
Yeah, I don't think you would.
I'd birdie every par 5, basically. And that's 8 for the week. I'd probably eagle like 4 or 5 par 5s.
15, you're going over water.
Yeah, but
You don't think one of the 4 days you're
yeah,
putting
you're
it in
right.
the
You're
water?
probably right. But then I get nervous and go in 3 times.
Well, but
probably,
then
yes.
that distance
You're going over water on
probably-
13 too.
13 over
Yeah.
water.
The other 2 are 8's a
8.
joke.
8, you'd be fine. But that's still a tough green.
Even 2, you're going over a bunker. That's it. You're right. Look, I'm not saying I could win, but I'm just saying. First of all,
But it also depends because some people are a lot better at their long game than their short game.
well, let's
right?
say forget 100. Let's say 50 yards, a 50-yard shot, and let's say you practice that for you had advance notice that you were going to get to play in the Masters, and this would be the conditions.
And it would count.
So you played for 6 months. All you did was work on 50. So you're pretty much dialed in that shot.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know the pressure of the Masters, all that stuff. On a par 5, you should be within from 50 yards, 20, 30 feet or something like that. Even if you had a bad shot, you 3-putt for birdie.
Yeah.
Right? And you're probably going to 2-putt. Like I didn't find here's what everyone says. Everyone responds, they go, the greens are impossible, you can't do that. Well, Puffy and I have played.
That's
the
true.
greens are not, they're hard.
They're very hard.
But if you have a caddy and you practice on them, they're not impossible. I didn't find the greens hard. I wasn't putting terrifically that day. But
Yeah.
most of the time I'd have like a 40-foot putt, I'd put it like 6 feet by, and then I missed a few comebackers. But I didn't find them that impossible if you have a caddy reading them for you.
But I
Just have to tap the ball every time.
I just don't think you'd make enough birdies.
No, I don't think I'd win. I'm just saying. So where would you have to be to win the Masters? On the
I'd have to
green?
be on the green.
Or just like on the edge, on the fringe or something like that? I think you could.
From the
Actually, I've seen you putt. You might not win that.
from the fringe. But
I would
mean,
100% win the Masters from the fringe.
the best. I think I'd win on 18 on like a 30-footer.
Now, Jimmy, sorry, you're saying everyone else is competing from the tees.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're playing the regular field of the Masters.
But you have the
I'll go
same
50.
crowds.
I'll take 50 yards.
The same crowds.
Same
My
crowds
short
and nerves
game's
and
way
stuff.
better than my long game.
Okay,
I'll
but
take
then
50
say
yards.
I'll
let's
take
say
30.
if you lose,
I got to
then
be on the green.
You have to die.
You shoot you in the head and they put you in the pond.
Oh my god. Wow.
It's
the
a
green
little
jacket?
harsh, but we mentioned that because that is I think we've talked about this on the Masters episodes. Bump.
Yeah.
Bump claims that he could shoot
Under 40.
Under 40 on the par 3 course where we used to do all our hits. And so we made a deal with Bump that he'd get $5 million if he did it, but if not, we'd shoot him in the head and throw him in the pond, which was a little bit harsh.
A little harsh.
And he said he'd still
Maybe
take the
shoot
bet.
an ankle or something.
There's
I
no
gotta
ch-
win that $70 million on Lotto Max because I'm doing that with Bill Bump for sure.
But Puffy, I would bet on you from the Fringe to win the Masters, which I don't think you're a spectacular putter, but once you're to the green, you've taken any big numbers out of it. So if you four putt, you're not going to four putt every hole. Even if you three putted every hole, wait a second, that's your first shot. You're making 3 basically for on the Fringe if you're putting.
Yeah.
So you're making 3 to 4 on every hole. You're going to win the Masters.
You'd probably win, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you'd have to.
Well, think about on the par 5s, for example.
Yeah, you'd be making if you 3 putted, you're birdieing.
Yes.
No, you're eagling.
You're
Yes.
eagling, yeah.
If you're on the edge of the green.
Yeah.
So you could 4 putt and birdie every par 5.
Yeah, I think you could win it from the green.
But that's not even. That would be embarrassing. I couldn't do that. I'd have to win it from
Off
at least.
the green a bit, yeah.
I wouldn't even take 50 yards because I don't like that shot. I would take like 75, so like hit a pretty full 60 degree.
Are you crazy?
What club would you use?
Well, I'd probably take a 60 degree from like 75.
He'd probably bring his full bag out still and make his caddy lug it around.
Yes, I would, baby. Anyway, it'll never happen, unfortunately, but it would be fun to do. Or will it? Maybe we could try it. Maybe I can talk to my buddy, Mr. Applebaum, who's the head of Golf Canada, and see if I could do it like at the Canadian Open, a version of it.
Yeah.
What could I win the Canadian Open at wherever it is next year? I think it's at somewhere in downtown Toronto next year. I can't remember the course.
I think. Or we could maybe try the season-ending live event.
Yeah.
We could do that too.
And if you do it, they give
Hold
you
on.
10
What would
million.
you rather win? The season-ending live event?
Oh, Christ.
Or
the Masters?
the Canadian Open?
Obviously, the Canadian Open.
You would.
We're not bringing this
Over
into
the
it anymore.
$18 million payday.
Yes, because I'll be a Canadian hero and a treasure.
Forever.
A treasure. The guy who won from the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll sing songs about you.
I think we should wrap it up. We don't want to go
probably.
too long. We had a good podcast.
it's good. This is a
And,
start.
I missed all you guys. It's good to be back.
Whoa, hold on. Before we go off, you guys have little white boxes? in there?
Yes.
We got prizes?
Is this like
These are gifts.
Is this for winning the Gold Bar League this year?
These are gifts, but these are not gifts from me.
Look at
These
this.
are gifts from Andrew Arsenault.
Oh wow.
Oh my God! Come on.
This is
Merch. We got merch. So let's put these 4 on
Oh
each.
my
My God, our names on it too. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Hey, cheers,
good.
Andrew.
Sorry, I wasn't,
cheers. That's
very
awesome.
nice.
I wasn't recording.
It's a great way for Andrew to remind us that he owns us.
Yeah. That's true.
He literally does.
He's the only one who could actually make
Could I
these.
sell this mug? No, I couldn't. Andrew
No,
would
your
get
name's on
all
it
the
too,
prosper.
like
That's what I'm saying.
He's thought of everything.
Jimmy, I'm just trying to do a little
cool.
film.
That's
for
awesome.
the-
Yeah. Sorry, I'll get out of the way.
Thank
no,
you
I
very
want
much,
yours
Andrew.
in there.
Okay.
I wasn't trying to tell you to get lost.
There's mine.
Trying to shoot promo. Get out of
The
here.
other way.
So we could put these
That's
on. We
awesome,
could
man.
put
Thank
these
you.
up on eBay, and that would be our first merch to sell.
Yeah.
See who goes for more.
Oh, that would be fun.
The pressure will be on.
I have a feeling James is going to go for
I think it would be
quite a bit.
I'd probably be Puffy.
I think
You know,
so.
people
too.
want the Puffy mug.
I think so.
Do you want to do viewer mail before we go? Or
Oh.
Oh, yeah, we can do a little mailbag here.
okay.
Rubber Boots Podcast.
Listen to the mail. Listen to the mail.
Podcast.
Thank you for listening.
So Mark Peter sends us in an A-hole or A-OK.
Okay.
And he asks, A-hole or A-OK? Someone uses your car in just every setting possible. To me, moving the seat back forward is A-OK. Everything else, A-hole.
Mirror. I
Sorry,
think
they
the
hit
mirror.
the settings to their standards
Like
and leave it
everything,
there.
I guess, yeah. Just
Yeah,
leave
that's
it
a
there.
hole.
Yeah,
I
that's
get to-
go
you get to that.
A-hole.
That's an easy one.
But I think you're allowed to use the rear view mirror. You can change.
Right, because that's a safety
Well, if
thing.
you're
Safety
driving
thing, of
someone's
course.
car,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yes, of course.
But I think you'd have to, as long as you said something. Hey,
I moved your mirror, yeah.
I moved your mirror. Don't, just say something. Acknowledge it.
No, I don't think you have to. I think just
Depending on the automobile, though.
Brooksy gets mad at me all the time when I move her mirrors. and
She
stuff.
does?
Like, well, she's a little pie. She's a little
yeah. Does she
pushy.
have to like sit on a booster seat or anything?
Yeah,
She's
she
pretty short.
does. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, she does.
That got intense.
Wow, I just
He's like, yeah, she does.
Puff thought he was joking.
And then Jimmy said,
I will chew your meat.
It turned heated.
Yeah, she does have to sit at the booth to see. What about it?
You got anything else?
what else did we have? TJ tweeted in with me with a game of Monopoly, but the Monopoly game was Bradford Monopoly. And I've actually seen this at Walmart. So his idea is that we all play it. So I think that will be our first live stream. We'll play Bradford Monopoly for 12 hours straight.
Is your mechanic on there?
Yeah, for sure. It's gotta be. When you stop at his stop, he's gone for 2 weeks.
You missed 2 turns.
David Carson writes in, just finished Calibre. Would give it 4 out of 5 sombreros.
Good movie.
Quite the hypothetical at the end.
Oh, wow.
He enjoyed it.
Did you guys ever watch it?
No.
Is that the one about the...
Why did you ever do anything I asked you to
that's
do
the
on
one
this program?
I
That's the
read
one with
it.
the guy-
I read it.
Yes,
I told you.
Is that the Scottish
It
one?
was-
Yes.
My heart was
you told
pounding.
us the whole movie.
Well, yeah, but you can still watch it.
Oh, it's done. My heart was pounding through that whole paragraph. The remaining mailbag stuff is all people just begging us to come back and asking when season 9 will be back. So it would be unfair to read any of just one of them. So we'll leave them all.
And,
unread.
one thing, what you watching, Jimmy liked the Dahmer.
What?
Ooh,
you like
you like Dahmer.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do it? We'll get into what you're watching next week, and we can get into more details on the Dahmer.
I might try to go.
You got scared 50 minutes in and turned it off.
You know what?
I don't think I could watch it because it's a story where he almost gets caught a bunch of times, right?
Yes, that's part of it.
So I think I would just find that part very frustrating to watch. It's
There
I
is-
watch some things that are, I guess it's a fiction, but it's, kind of messed up in some ways.
Right.
So it's not bad of it. It's just more so it being real and the fact that.
Well, the other thing
he
is
got away
that
with it.
I did some research after, like the Dahmer thing is very, obviously they have to fictionalize some things. They don't know the conversations that took place, but it's very accurate in the depictions from what they know of like the people, how he killed them. And there, to your point, without being too much of a spoiler, there's one, they had him once and they had him with this kid who was drugged and the cops basically gave the kid back to him because he's claimed it was his boyfriend and he was drunk.
I think that's one of the preview scenes.
That's
on Netflix,
very
'cause I
disturbing.
watched that.
That's very, and and that really happened, and that is incredibly disturbing.
Did a lot more people die after that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, of course. Look,
Yes.
I just, in general, for me, guys, I don't like anything
Cannibalism?
anything that glorifies the killer. You know what I mean? And it kind of does in a way.
This definitely does in a way.
I would say it does because you don't feel sympathy for him, but you do have more of like it's a very complete doc. I don't think you end with any sort of but there's a bit of an understanding because it goes into its youth. It tries to explain to an extent how some of this happened and why he is the way he is or was the way he was.
Yeah.
So you're right. I think there is a little bit of that, and I think the families of all the victims are pretty upset that this came back out. Right?
Well, I would be
there's
upset
been a bunch
too.
of them too.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
There's been like more. They always seem to have these. There's a bunch of Ted Bundy movies, and now there's a bunch
Because
of
it sells,
For me,
right? That's
though,
all
there's-
Netflix is, basically.
There's a
now.
line between like the documentary and then like the romanticized reenactment of it.
Yeah.
Just
And
kinda-
look, I mean, there's a.
I don't know if
there's
it's
a-
romanticized is the because
Zac
they,
To some
Efron playing
degree-
Ted Bundy, pretty romantic.
to some degree it is because it's like they're not saying what these guys did was good, but it's just put on display and it's almost celebrated in a way. Like
I suppose.
their
let's-
work is basically.
Let's put it this way:
what they
there's
kinda
lots
wanted.
there's lots. You know those glasses that he wears in the thing. They're sold out all over the place because people want to be him for Halloween.
A lot of places are banning that costume for Halloween.
Exactly, and that to me that's the problem that I have.
That it goes over for sure.
Yeah.
If you want to dress like Dahmer at any point,
No.
probably
But
not a
I
good
think
idea.
our fascination. Look, we've long been fascinated with serial killers, right?
Yes.
And I think that's why they're going to keep producing these things on Netflix or whatever service until they're out of them. And I think they're probably running out of them right now. But by the way, I was having this conversation with somebody. It's tough to be a serial killer in 2022. I've tried it.
I think they're done.
Yes.
I think they're done.
Because there was just one down in somewhere in the States, and they got him after. And frankly, the only way to be a serial killer and get away with it now, I think, is like just to be like the random like drive-by shootings or something, a complete randomness, and you're still going to get caught. But the CCTV cameras are, first of all, everywhere. Every doorbell, every alleyway, everywhere.
Yeah, that woman jogger, they caught that guy in like 2 hours.
DNA, everything else, like you're catching, you have no chance to pull it off. Like the thing that's fascinating watching the Dahmer series is that he just went into these gay bars in Milwaukee and just picked these guys up and left, and then they went missing, and nobody caught on for years.
That sort of happened in Toronto too, though.
Well, of course.
With Bruce what his name was?
MacArthur.
Yeah.
MacArthur, yes.
I know, which is but these people weren't even reported as missing, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was
I think it's part of that, with the LGBT community, that's something they've struggled with. And that's what
back, and perhaps in Milwaukee too,
Yeah,
which was,
exactly.
100%.
not accepted.
100%.
So
Yeah,
these were kids that were lost from their families. So when they went missing, they thought, they're just down in Miami or something. Well, which is horrible.
It is
horrible.
That's-
But anyway, serial killing in 2022, not a good career choice. That would be my prediction. Maybe you should try it, Puffy. That'll be like a podcast that you see if you can get away with being a serial killer, and by the end of the season, we'll know if you made it or not.
Well, it's funny. It's getting so hard to murder people these days. Perhaps they should have an island for that. Only.
Boom.
Oh,
See how I brought it around? See how I brought it around?
That's what we call the looper.
The looper.
Right there. And with that, we end episode 1 of season 9. Thanks again for your patience, everybody. We're really sorry, and thanks again for your patience this season, where we might struggle at times, but we love you, and we're here for this pod as long as you want to hear us.
Stay tuned for our Christmas special.
Episode 2, the Christmas special. Episode 3, the Masters. Episode 4, season finale. See you next time.
I will chew your meat.
Hey, how are you? I got a question that I really want to ask you. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge. A bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up. Please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?